One of our members said, "We're all on the path. We're just on different parts of the path." That was Jeff Hankey. And I feel like that so simply sums up this process of becoming a songwriter. There's this path. And what I've noticed in my own journey is that this path has a shape to it. And I've noticed it show up in other songwriters in our community. And I've broken it down into 4 stages. There's the blank notebook stage, the tons of unfinished ideas stage, the collection stage, and the giving back stage. So the first stage, when I first started writing songs, I had a blank notebook, no song ideas. And whenever I did get a song idea, it felt like it was my last good idea. And I was just like had this precious little thing and it had to be perfect. And then like what was going to happen when I finished it? Like I wouldn't have another song to work on. And it was just tormenting. And I found that the solution is to generate tons of ideas without judgment. And the counterintuitive thing is that I found that the more ideas I generate, the better they get. And the more ideas come. So it's actually like tapping into that creativity just begets more creativity, and the ideas just keep flowing. And then that leads us to the next stage, which is tons of unfinished ideas. And, that can be kind of tormenting. It's in its own way, but not a bad problem to have. And I found that when I would spend my 100 days focusing on finishing songs, the way I did this is I would not move on to the next song without finishing the current song I was on. Very painful. One of the most painful things I've experienced, non-physical pain. But I found that I would actually produce songs that I liked. And I don't know if you've experienced this, but my own song journey, the journey of an individual song is like I have the initial idea, I'm pulling the thread, I'm chasing the idea, and it's oh, this is so awesome. And then I get to verse 2 and I'm like, oh crap, I don't know what to do next. Oh, this is so painful. I don't want to do this anymore. I quit. I'm gonna just watch Netflix and eat. And that's my numbing behavior of choice. But when I allowed to let that pain have its voice for a minute and just ride it through, I found that I could then ask okay, what am I really trying to say with this song? And just gently push it through. I'd get to the end. So it's possible. It's possible to get through that pain. And then that brings us to the next stage, which is, okay, I have all these finished songs, but I don't have them in any sort of collection, and I'm kind of starting to forget them. I want to look back on this time in my life and have this collection of songs oh yeah, those are the songs I wrote during the pandemic or, whatever. And so this is actually where the EP challenge emerged out of is, we're all here generating ideas, writing songs, and then we're what do we do with them? So after each 100-day challenge, we do twice a year, we have an EP challenge. And it's a time to focus on finishing the tunes, tightening up lyrics, creating demos, or, if you have more production skills, full-on production. Everyone's kind of experimenting with that at different levels as well. But it's really fun to do together and not feel like you're just totally alone. And then the next stage that I've found is, okay, so maybe you're comfortable with finishing songs, putting albums together. You've done a few albums and you're feeling a little stagnant or just what's next? Well, this is a great time to give back to the community and share a little bit of what you've picked up over the years or over the time that you've been becoming a songwriter. We're all gathering these little nuggets. We're figuring it out in the way that works for us. And sometimes that little nugget that you've got is exactly what someone needs who's earlier on in this journey. We have all sorts of opportunities for you to share. You can run a workshop, you can run a discussion group, or a song listening party. I mean, there's all kinds of different fun things we can do and stay connected with each other. But the other thing that I highly recommend is starting to collaborate. Collaboration can be so fun when there's trust and not a lot of ego. And I'm actually developing a space right now within our community that's going to help kind of guide people through the collaboration process and just minimize some of those points of resistance, like, song ownership, just how to have those conversations up front and just get to the fun part of writing together. So I recommend checking that out. That will be available to alumni only. So once you get through 100 days, you'll have access to the collaboration area. Other than that, I invite you to think about, with as much self-honesty as you can muster, where are you in this arc of the songwriter? Are you in the blank notebook stage? Are you in the tons of unfinished ideas stage? Are you in the collection stage or the giving back and collaborating stage? And come up with activities for yourself, especially if you're coming up with, a rule for your 100 days. Like, how do I want to spend this 100 days? Think about activities that relate to the stage you're in. Because you may, the person that's working on the collection stage, those activities may not be super helpful and may just be discouraging to someone who's in the blank notebook stage. So with that, go forth and reach out to me if you have any questions or are stuck with this. Alrighty, bye.